main computer whiz is off skiing. Colleen, she's somewhere up in New York.
Oh, that's
And she left me with all, Brooke, you can't believe it. I have the iPhone, I have the Mac computer, and these other things here in front of me.
You're doing a masterful
Well,
job.
I don't know about that. I'm glad people can't see it. Of course, now with JC and the video, God knows what will happen. Don't be putting this out. No, don't turn that camera on me and all this mass confusion. So keep it on, Brooke. Brooke, it's great to have you. I haven't seen you now in a while since I was over. I saw you over at the Fish.
Right.
And since we talked last, you're not retired. You're just taking some time off
Well,
from radio.
you could say that, yes, but the Fish was there doing the morning show for almost a decade, almost 10 years, and I have 5 kids, and that drive, it's about an hour, every morning I get up at 2 a.m., and with 5 kids and just the busyness of life and other ministries, it was for me kind of a state of burnout, and so I hung up my microphone, but I still, love to listen, love to speak and be involved, and also get to do pretty awesome trips, like a trip to Ireland.
Yeah, but before I talk to you, you're very involved in your church, aren't you?
Yeah.
What church is that?
It's St. Paul Catholic Church in North Canton. It's right on Main Street, just a beautiful historic.
Big congregation, is it?
Yeah, it is.
How big?
I'm horrible with numbers, so I would say.
About 1,000 families?
How many?
1,000 families?
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably, maybe over 5,000.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Oh, it's a huge church.
It
huge
is.
congregation.
Yeah, very.
So you're very involved in that. Huh?
Mm-hmm. And with our pastor, our priest there, and just a lot of our kids go to school there, so it's a wonderful community.
I never thought of that in Canton. Isn't that funny now?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just kind of tucked away there in North Canton, so it's a little north than if you're on 77 and you see the Football Hall of Fame, that's in Canton. We're a little more north than that, just kind
Now,
of.
you didn't grow up in Canton, did you?
No, I
Where are
did.
you from originally?
Well, all over. I was born in Florida, and then for my elementary years, I lived actually in Milan, Ohio, which is right by Sandusky in Erie County.
Did you?
And then in my high school years, I moved to Wisconsin, and then got into radio there and traveled all over. The rest was history.
Oh my God, you don't look old enough to have done all that.
Well, thank you.
Let alone have 5 children.
5 kids. How old is the oldest?
13.
13. And how old is the youngest?
I have to think. 3.
Sounds like my house.
Just a wonderful zoo.
Oh, okay. I know what it was like. We had 6 of them
Oh,
in 8
yeah.
years.
That's about the same. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
so-
very never a dull moment.
Mrs. Quinn is listening now, and she said I can identify with that
Aw,
woman.
bless her.
14 gallons of milk a week, or
That's
20
right.
gallons, or whatever, and boxes of cereal.
And getting into the teenage years, it's amazing. I don't know where they all put it.
Oh, yes.
The food we go
And
through.
the nice thing is to know where they are when they're in their teenage years.
Right,
that's
that's
going to be
true.
that's the big challenge.
Yeah.
All the time to know where they are.
Yeah.
But like I could say, you've taken some time off of the radio, but we're going to be doing a little traveling.
We are, and it is an answer to prayer with having the intense life of child rearing and just trying to fit it all in to have an opportunity to go to Ireland. So we're going with Father Jay, our priest from St. Paul's. He'll be the spiritual advisor, and Father Jay Clarke is from Ireland.
He is where?
So
You know
I'm
where?
not sure if it's County Mayo. I know it's one of the stops because we briefly talked about it. And he's trying to do a little history digging himself before we actually embark on the journey and talk his family into coming. Let's all go together. And his roots, to just discover that a little bit. But we're going in August 9th through the 20th. And all of those amazing stops from the Titanic Belfast, we're going to see Giant's Causeway. I'm very excited about Our Lady of Knock and the Knock Shrine in the time that we're there in August. The pilgrimage from around the world, really, people come there, is going to begin. And so we're blessed to have a private concert from recording artist James Kilbane, just for our group.
Oh, that's right. In fact, I got a couple of CDs. Did he give you a few CDs?
I don't have any yet.
Oh, I brought
Oh,
you 2.
wonderful. Oh, what a
I'm going to
treat.
give them to you.
Okay.
Oh, he's wonderful. James is wonderful. But I must tell you, when the Pope was there in 1979, I was working in Dublin at the time.
Wow.
And I got down to Mayo. I wanted to see the Pope. Now, Knock was not as huge as it is today back in 1979, but 1.5 million people converged in this little town in the country that year. And my journey, I got to within about 20 miles of Knock, couldn't get any closer.
Oh,
I wanted
man.
to see the Pope.
That's
I wanted to see him.
amazing.
but I didn't see him. But it was just an incredible event in Irish history when he appeared there in 1979.
I imagine. And even as close as you got, just experiencing
Just to be
the
there,
volume
yeah.
of people.
I was there. I actually got a movie of his plane landing in Dublin that year. I was in the terminal and I took a movie, and I can't find it. It was on one of those Super 8s. Remember the camera?
Right. So it's
Didn't have
somewhere.
iPhones then.
So that would have been John Paul II, right?
Yes.
79.
Yeah,
Okay.
1979, and the Irish just loved him.
Yes, I bet.
He was a wonderful pope. But I must tell you also, I probably have made 14 or 15 pilgrimages to Knock, because from the time we were about 3 years old, my mom and dad insisted that every year we do a pilgrimage to Knock, and we had to go around to all the stations. It was entirely different then than it is now. It wasn't the elaborate architecture you have today.
Okay.
You had to kneel on the grass or on those stones, and we did that pilgrimage every year. I think we did until I was about 15. I was there every year. It was
Well,
part of the family ritual.
I think that's the beauty of a trip like that, is in a bigger way, that's what we're doing. You know, we're visiting these holy places collectively as a group. And when you were mentioning the Pope, it reminded me in April, for the first time ever, I had gone on a pilgrimage, and we went to the canonization of John Paul II and John the 23rd in Rome. I had never been in a crowd like that, anywhere near it, or had gone on a pilgrimage. And I'm more of an introvert, so I always thought if I would ever travel or go to Ireland or wherever, I would want to go alone or with my husband or family. But that experience really opened my eyes, and I'm sure you've seen this in all the years you've gone, to how the special people that come together, often you don't know each other before you go on this trip. You really do become like family.
Mm-hmm.
And something happens along the way, because each person there is hoping to have the time of their life, an experience they'll never be able to duplicate. And so everybody is in the best mood, the food is unbelievable, and it's such a beautiful little glimpse of heaven, I feel.
Now, the other thing, you don't have to be Catholic to
Right.
go on this. For instance, St. Patrick's Cathedral that you're going to be visiting, it's not Catholic, it's Protestant, where
Right.
Dean Swift is buried, but a lot of people think it is. But that's one of the great things you're going to see on your trip, right?
Right. We're saying adventure to Ireland, because that's really what it is. It's a pilgrimage, but it's also the adventure of seeing the historical sites, the cultural sites, the religious sites, going to the pubs, but also going to the shrines, you know. And so it's every possible sample of Ireland to the very best that we could curate, and to be able to offer that.
Right, we're going to talk more about that, but first, let me tell you about one of our J.C. Sullivan. J.C. has taken some videos, and we're going to probably have it out on YouTube, and it's going to be really high quality now, right, J.C.? So we're going to have that high quality stuff, because
Yeah, this is a high definition video, Jerry, so it comes out really clear and very, very nice. And of course, when we have lovely subject matters like Brooke, it's even nicer.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the compliment to me, J.C. In other words, I'm not much of a subject matter most of the time.
Yes, you are.
No sweat, Jerry, no sweat.
All right. Let's talk more about the trip. The first date is when?
The first date is August 9th, and so the time of year is beautiful. The days are long, and you know very well the weather will be beautiful. All the green, it's green all year round, but then it'll be through August 20th. So, you know, it's every day. The dinners, the medieval banquet we're going to experience at a castle.
Nice.
So many things that it really is hard to do justice to all the details. And it's interesting in looking at even the food aspect, where if you were to go on your own, you'd never be able to duplicate the quality and the price of the meals, where everything is included in this trip, in the hotels, the quality of the lodging.
I can vouch for that, because I have done, I think this will be the 15th or 16th trip. I'm doing the one at Easter. 15th or 16th, and then I've taken a total over 50 trips to Ireland since I came here.
Wow.
Now, you're right. You could never duplicate that trip of yours for less than $6,000.
I believe it.
You couldn't, because you stay in those quality hotels. You can't get the deal in the hotels if you walk in off the street, or even if you book in advance, because we're booking numbers here. So the quality of the food, the dinners, the breakfast, you have the breakfast every morning anyway, and it is quite a breakfast. A lot of people aren't able to eat lunch.
I was going to ask, what could you just give a little snippet of what to expect?
Goodness, you're going to get bacon and they call it rashers over there, which is big. Bacon, eggs. There'll be sausage, pudding. There'll be fruit, cereal, and a lot of them have it. It's almost like a buffet where you can get as much as you want. All kinds of fruits, vegetables. Some of them even I've seen some of them with fish.
Okay. For breakfast?
Yes, yeah, I've seen some of them with that. And I'm not big into that now. I wouldn't. Fish is for dinner for me.
Right.
But the breakfast is very, very elaborate, and most times when I'm there, I'm not able to eat lunch.
Because you're so full.
Oh, I'm so full.
Yeah.
Then we get on the bus and you travel, and another thing to emphasize is that those driver guides they have on these buses, they are so knowledgeable. Do you know every one of those driver guides has to pass a very rigid test? They take a bus out, they have a guy from the Department of Tourism sitting in the back of the bus. He just sits there and takes notes. And the driver is up there by himself, traveling around the country, doing what he would have to do if that bus was full of tourists. And he has to pass that test.
I believe it because they have a gift for articulating the history, but also making it entertaining.
They know it backwards and forwards, and what they don't know, if they forget something, they make it up.
And that's part of the Irish lore.
They're good. A lot of them are great entertainers, some of them are great singers, they have loads of jokes. You know, you'll probably say a few words, maybe when you get on in the morning, welcome somebody on the bus, or you might have some directions to give them on some things. But most of it, the driver will take care of. Of everything. They are gifted, every one of them.
Well, and that's what's so nice is to and the buses are so comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Sit back, look out the window, not worry about getting lost or where you're at, just knowing that you can soak up the story that they're sharing or the company of the people that you're with, or take a nap.
And rarely you'll go for more than an hour and a half or 2 hours without stopping.
Okay.
So people worry about that, going to the bathroom and something.
Right.
They know every pub and restaurant and stopover and rest stop. They know where they all are, and they understand the tourism. That's why CIE has been given the award as the best tour company in Europe.
Wow.
The best tour company. Other countries hire CIE to do their tours for them.
Well, that is the hard part about sharing the information about the tour is, again, it's so hard to fully articulate how amazing each one of the points is, from the drivers, like you mentioned, to the quality of CIE, to the food, to the lodging, to the actual stops, and all the details that will go into, all the tickets are paid for instance, when we go and we see
That's right.
The Book of Kells, that we can just go in knowing that when you purchase your trip, it's all done. And everything from, you don't have to do any dishes, you don't have to worry about where you're going, you don't have to pay for any tickets or do laundry. It's just done and taken care of, so you can have this adventure of a lifetime.
It's the way it really is the way to go. And you hear some horror stories about people who went to other countries. I've never heard a bad one about Ireland, especially if you use CIE, which you're using.
Right.
The driver, I've noticed this many times, they have a little stool that they carry in the bus. And if there's an elderly person on the trip, they pull that stool out and stick it by the bus step, so that the person can step down. They're very helpful like that. They understand the business
And the
better
details,
than anybody.
those attention
They'll have
to
little
details.
details. That's right.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they are. They're great. Can you stick around one?
Sure.
Oh,
I'd love
great.
to.
What is he talking about? He was never home to do any of the work. I did all the cooking. She was saying to my daughter Mary, listen to him with you.
Well, I know it goes by the blink of an eye, so sometimes.
I'd love to have it back again, Brooke. And there's
Yes.
things that I would do a little different if I had a chance. I really do. But
Yeah.
we focus more on our grandchildren when we get a little older, like I am, and I'm sure you'll experience the
Yeah.
same thing.
And that's, each stage is fun.
But one of the things we talked about was James Kilbany's going to be performing for you in Knock, and I'll play one of his songs right now, and this is called "Thank Heaven for You." Let's go over the tour again. You're landing in where are you landing?
We're landing in Dublin, so we'll go from United States to Dublin, and then we'll go to Down Cathedral. That's one day.
Downpatrick. Yeah, that's where St. Patrick is buried.
Right. And then also Belfast, there's sightseeing, Giant's Causeway.
Oh, fabulous.
And then we've got Tobernaut Holywell, also Knock Shrine.
Mm-hmm, Knock Shrine, that's right, we talked about that, where
And
James is gonna meet up with you.
Yep, and Tobernaut Holywell, also Knock Shrine. Mentioned that Achill Island tour, also Croagh
Oh,
Patrick.
you were going through Achill, huh?
Achill, yes.
Oh, I've lots of friends in Achill. We'll have to tell them meet up at the bus in Achill.
Oh,
Of course,
good.
James, I'm sure James will probably jump on the bus with you for a while. as
So
you
it's
go along.
Achill.
Yeah, Achill.
Okay. Then also Galway, we'll go to Galway.
You're going to love Galway. You're going to stop at the cathedral.
Okay,
Fabulous cathedral.
the history and...
Yeah, well, the cathedral is fairly new, but there are a lot of monastic sites in Galway, in the county itself. But the cathedral is, I would say, it's maybe 35, 40 years old.
Okay, oh,
but
that is
But it is a magnificent structure.
Also the Cliffs of Moher.
Oh,
and
yes.
we've got Dingle Peninsula, Dingle Brewery. We're going to get a special tour.
I better give you guys some holy water to take with you.
We'll get some at Knock. We'll pick some
That's
up
right,
at the shrine there.
yeah.
Blarney Castle, Rock of Cashel, and we'll stay there. That'll be an overnight there.
You're going to stay at Blarney?
Yes.
Yes. I remember right beside the castle is the Blarney Woolen Mills, where they make all the sweaters and anything made out of wool. It's a fabulous store. Brooke, your husband better lock up your wallet when you get into that store.
That's what I was going to ask. Of all the things to purchase as a tourist, should it be the wool? What would you recommend for one splurge item to bring back?
Yeah, I would say, and that's a good place to buy it. It depends on. I would say this though. This is an old trick I learned. Don't buy too much at the beginning of the tour, because then you have to haul it with you
That's
all
true.
the way through, and you have to find a place to put it on the bus or in your suitcase. So wait until near the end of the tour. You
Okay.
can always check prices along the way. One of the things that will happen for sure to you though is you'll do like I said. You'll wait until maybe the second last day, and you'll say, you know what, I saw that 4 days ago and it was half the price that it is here. You get that too. That'll happen to you
Right.
too. But if you're not going to buy a lot, I hope.
No, I mean, it's always that mix of, you may never be there again,
Yeah.
and you want to take a piece of, whatever it might be home.
You're going to do this every year, I hope.
Well, that would be wonderful,
I
God
hope you
willing,
do.
if that would work out. But I know you're right, because when you're on from one place to another, as a woman, I love to comparison shop, and I love to find a good deal. And when you're traveling, it's harder to do that. But I think sometimes you have a connection when you see something, whether it's a little miniature figurine or a piece of clothing. Maybe that's more of a woman thing, where you feel like this, I have to have this. This is such, a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to that. And really the end of our tour is on August 18th, and it wraps up on the 20th. We'll be at Blarney, so that would be a good time
Oh, yeah.
to get everything.
Are you going back to Dublin, or are you flying out of Shannon?
Yep, we're going to Dublin on our last day. We'll sightsee, we'll just enjoy the city, we'll take it in, and then the
Okay.
next day we'll fly from Dublin.
That's right.
home.
They have some great tours of Dublin, tour guides of the city of Dublin. I think you'll be really impressed.
I can't wait.
You're going to St. Patrick's Cathedral, though, right?
We are, and then also, I think I mentioned it earlier,
Sure,
maybe
sure.
you've done this amazing banquet in a medieval castle, this authentic meal.
Oh yeah, several times.
Oh, is that the best?
They're going to select a king, or a queen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yes.
I'll have
So
to
you
be
might,
prepared.
you never know, you might be the queen.
That is, once in a lifetime, really.
Yes.
And that's what we're hoping for this trip, is whether you've gone before or whether it's a bucket list dream item, that this is your opportunity. So every stop to this, the food, to the hotels really are the best of the best that we could put together, especially for the price, as you mentioned.
Yeah. The other thing that I mentioned, you will notice how late the sun shines. It's going to be bright. I remember at Blarney Castle one time, and I was sitting outside. In fact, it was the first tour of Ireland I took. And I was sitting outside with a friend of mine, Ed Hurley, and his wife, Mary Therese Hurley.
Okay.
We're sitting there, and Ed looked at his watch and he says, it's almost 11 o'clock and it's still bright. And it was.
I've never heard of that.
And we're sitting at Blarney Castle.
So in August, you
It'll
can
be,
expect that.
I would say it'll be bright up till 10:30 anyway.
Well, that helps you get every drop of the day.
And you'll sit around, you'll have your dinner probably about 6:30 or 7, and you'll sit around, maybe have a few drinks there at Blarney in the hotel. I don't know, the hotel maybe has changed on the name of the hotel since I stayed there.
Okay.
But it was very nice. It's a wonderful place to stay.
Well, that's what, in putting this tour together, we wanted to make sure that the best places, all of these are a full grade, if not more above what you'd find, and that I think speaks to CIE, as you were saying,
Yes, yes.
and the quality of the tour company.
Yeah, they will treat you right. They're very good like that. Here's a lady that's one of the great artists.
Well,
it's going to be a great one, isn't it?
it is. There's an extra spot for you and Mrs. Quinn if you
Okay.
want to go. But the website is adventureinireland.com, and everything is there for you. If you have any questions at all, just send us an email. Also, Tim Vaughn is someone that you can contact directly. His phone number is 216-210-0828. I'll repeat that. It's 216-210-0828. And we've been filling the seats fast, but we do have room left. So if you want to join us on this one-of-a-kind, amazing adventure, just log on to adventureinireland.com.
Thanks, Brooke.
Thanks, Jerry.